What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard with another Division 2 video. Today is Thursday, February 11th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. Many of you have reached out to the channel recently asking if I would make an updated version of some of the best ways to farm for exotic items and weapons in the game, therefore that's exactly what I'm doing today, my friends. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family, and if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really helps us out. Finally, as most of you know, we have giveaways here, and our current one is for an Xbox Series X. However, more importantly, we will also be making a donation in the winner's name to St. Jude Children's Hospital for $500. The winner will be announced on April 4th to celebrate our 1-year anniversary at the channel, and all you need to do to enter is subscribe here or follow us on Twitter. Either way is fine. As always, my friends, please keep in mind that watching our content is not a requirement to win. Only watch the things here you may enjoy. That's why you have the option of entering via Twitter. Having said that, let's get into today's video. So as we start the video off, one thing I want to mention is this is really geared towards new players and players returning to the game. And what you're probably learning by now is there are many different ways in this game that you can actually farm for exotic weapons and items. The first method I'm going to show you has to do with farming missions. And for me, what I do on a daily basis is I'll open up the map and I'll look for missions that have certain loot that I know exotic weapons or items are tied to it. I also make sure I check out missions that I'm really proficient at, meaning I know the timing of the NPC, I can get through the thing in under 10 minutes. So for me, 3 of those missions are Lincoln Memorial, American History Museum, and Viewpoint Museum. Now, as you can see on the screen, the body armor was the targeted loot for the American History Museum. And one thing I want to mention really quick is anytime I do these videos, I want to show you recent footage. So most of this footage that you're seeing is actually from yesterday. So there happen to be a few details that I'd like to point out. First of all, my world is set to challenging, but I'm running this mission on heroic, so that way I have the ability to change between the difficulties between attempts. So right now I tried it on heroic, nothing drops, so at this point, once I'm finished with the mission, I'm going to reset it and run it again on challenging. And my friends, that is the big secret. I've made videos like this before. I don't know why this helps. Many of you have reached out saying you've done this, you've been able to have the same success, but for some reason, when you change difficulties in between attempts, it seems to improve your chances of getting an exotic drop. So once again, as I mentioned a moment ago, I ran it on heroic, no luck there. I tried it again on challenging, and one thing I want to make sure I mention is this is not a guarantee or a promise, but it's something that seems to work for a lot of players out there. As you can see, I was lucky enough to get an exotic chest piece on my second attempt. Once again, this was on challenging difficulty, and one thing I want to make sure I point out is that it doesn't have to be on heroic for these things to drop. And the reason I say that is because I've heard from a lot of players saying they don't have the best luck on heroic when it comes to exotics. They found things on challenging, on normal, on hard. So again, play to your skill level. And the most important thing to do, my friends, as I show you this next footage, is change the difficulty in between attempts. The next clip I'm showing you is from a few weeks ago, but it's another example of using this method and my being able to have some success. So what I did here was this. I tried running Viewpoint on normal, didn't have any luck, so I then decided to use Matchmaking and run it again on heroic. Now, one thing I want to make sure I mention, especially for the new players out there or people just returning, is exotic weapons and items can drop at any point in the mission. You'll see here in a second a random red bar winds up dropping an exotic SMG, so for you new players, do not take off before the mission is over. There are so many times I hear from gamers out there saying that they wind up dropping an exotic and no one's there to pick it up, so make sure at any point in the mission you're keeping a lookout because at any time an agent can drop something that they want to share with you. Anyway, getting back to this footage, like I said, I tried this once on normal, no luck, tried it again on heroic in a group, was able to get an exotic SMG. I already had the thing, so I shared it with another agent, so in my opinion, it's a totally win-win situation. Another great place to farm for exotics happens to be the summit because you can choose your targeted loot. Now, I've heard from different people saying they haven't had the best luck there, but once again, make sure that if you're in a group and you're playing, always keep a lookout for someone to drop something. Once again, this footage is from yesterday, and the thing is, I really haven't had the best luck with getting exotics to drop in the summit. However, a lot of you have, so I wanted to make sure I highlighted this. And again, people, keep an eye out for anything that agents drop, because once again, it could be something that you want. The next method I want to get into, my friends, is farming named bosses. And this can be in the open world, it can be bounties, it can be control points, whatever you're capable of doing. Trying to find these named bosses are some of the best ways to get exotics to drop. This footage happens to be from yesterday as well, and one thing I'd like to mention is while my world is set to heroic, the bounty itself was on hard, so once again, it does not need to be a heroic bounty or control point or anything like that in order to get these things to drop. Finally, my friends, I'm going to show you some footage from yesterday in the Dark Zone. I don't typically run in the Dark Zone, but I'm thinking this, what would Kamikaze Von Doom do? Or any of the Disciples of Doom? They would go into the Dark Zone, they'd show you how to get a weapon, and they'd show you how to get it out of there. Now, in full transparency, I was really lucky. I ran into a few other agents, they were cool, no one went rogue, I was able to extract with the item, but for many people out there, they don't enjoy playing the Dark Zone because it's PvP, but again, it is a good way to try to find exotics. However, as I mentioned, the tricky part is getting out with the thing, so only go in there if you're comfortable with it, if you're going to be in a group, or you don't really care if someone takes your stuff because that could easily happen, but like I said, I was lucky enough to be able to get an exotic to drop and extract with it. And one thing really quick, chances are if you subscribe to my channel, you're already subscribed to Kamikaze Von Dooms, but if you're not, check him out. The guy's an absolute beast when it comes to, builds and content and all that stuff, and just a really, really good dude. Now, one thing I want to mention as I start to wrap this video up is yesterday was an anomaly for me, meaning I had 5 exotic drops in a session of gameplay, and that has never happened to me before. Not only that, but they were all in the span between shade level 1440 and 1443, but the one thing you didn't see was the 4 or 5 hours of gameplay I had previously to that where I didn't get anything to drop whatsoever. I had spent pretty much my entire morning farming control points because I was looking for an exotic marksman rifle, and after doing that for hours and hours, the ability to have another way to farm for these things really came in handy because I was tired of doing the same thing. Having said all of that, my friends, for my personal gameplay, I've had the best luck farming for exotics when it comes to missions, and like I said, change the difficulty in between attempts, run them over and over again, and try to find one that you can get through as quickly as you can. On that note, my friends, I'm going to start to wrap this video up. I want to once again thank you all for the continued support and remind you if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below as I try to answer everything as quickly as possible. One of the many things I love about the community that we're building is the fact that we all work together, so if you have any tips or tricks you want to leave in the comments section, please do, because here it's all about helping each other out. Like I said at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you like this, you can hit that like button as well. But most importantly, as always, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.